Hello everyone. In the world of cloud computing, data security is paramount. To ensure the confidentiality and integrity of your data, encryption keys play a crucial role. When it comes to encryption in the cloud, you have primary two options: customer managed keys and cloud provider keys. In this video, we'll explore the differences between these two approaches and help you decide when to choose each one. So sit back, and after this video, I hope you'll have a clarity on which key to choose to go about. So this is the agenda that we have to have today. That is, what are the keys? Also, what I'll do is, as part of this process, is I'll show the AWS, Google, and Azure key management. It's a little similar. The concept is the same, but the navigation is a little different. So I'll just show you that. And if please drop in your comments if you want to see any detailed aspect of any such policy or any other feature, let me know. And then I'll do the conclusion and in terms of what exactly we do, a recap and to the summary of it. So what exactly are keys? Keys in the context of encryption and security can refer to various types of cryptographic keys used to secure data and communication. So following other key points, and this is pun intended, about what exactly keys are. So the definition is that encryption keys are essentially strings of data used in encryption algorithms to transform plain text into ciphertext and vice versa. So what is the primary purpose? The primary purpose of the keys is to ensure that the confidentiality and integrity of the data by encoding it in a way that makes it unreadable without the corresponding decryption key. There are numerous types of keys. A few of these are the holistic ones. I believe I've listed it out. That are symmetric keys. Symmetric keys use the same key for both encryption and decryption, making them faster but requiring secure key exchange. Asymmetric keys that can be public-private key pairs involve a public key for encryption and private key for decryption. They are used in secure communication and digital purposes, primarily like SFTP servers. You would have seen that if you will be using MINDI asymmetric keys, where there's going to be a public key, there's going to be a private key. Public key is going to be uploaded to the server. Private key is what you will be doing. You will be having on your machine. Then there are encryption keys, where these keys are used for encrypting data, ensuring that only authorized parties can decrypt and access the information. And signing keys are used in digital signatures. You would have seen in DocuSign, where they verify the authenticity and integrity of a message or document. And authentication keys. These keys are used in authentication protocols to prove the identity of a user or system. Now in cloud, most of the time the keys are going to be symmetric keys that we used for key management system. That is what we used predominantly. But I just wanted to list out over here so that you all have a good understanding on what it is. Key length. Now this is important just for the new algorithm perspective. Now the longer keys, obviously they'll provide a much higher security because they increase the complexity of breaking the encryption. But the common key lengths usually are 128-bit, 256-bit, and 2048-bit keys now. So I hope this provides a good understanding about keys, because they are fundamental component of modern cybersecurity to enable secure communication. They provide data protection and verification of digital identities. Understanding how to generate, manage, and use keys effectively is going to be crucial to maintain the confidentiality and integrity of sensitive information. So with this, I'll now get to the next topic. What is the cloud provider key? Now, a cloud provider key is, they are similar to the one, but they're encryption keys managed by cloud service provider. That's the main difference, where instead of you generating the key, the cloud provider is going to be generating the key. They are primarily used for convenience, as the cloud provider is going to take care of the key management tasks, that is the rotation, the storage of it. So when you want to choose a cloud provider key, first thing is simplicity. You're just getting started. You probably just want to get things quick up and running and don't want to worry about the hassle of you're creating your own keys. And this is where you could look into the cloud provider key. Like simplistic use cases, something that is not dealing with much data, you could just, or not critical data, or not production data, that is where you could kind of use your cloud provider key. Cost efficiency, the reason I put cost efficiency here, it's not that if you use your own key, is you're going to have a lot of cost, but it comes down to the model that you'll have, because you'll have to do your own key rotation, right, expiration, and you'll have to accordingly allocate. You'll have to create a pipeline to do the automated setup, and that is where the resources you'll have to allocate it. So that is where it may be a little more simpler to use a cloud provider key compared to you're creating your own key. And this one is the customer managed key. Now, what is a customer managed key? Customer managed keys are encryption keys that you, the customer, will generate and manage. And I'll just quickly show you how exactly we do that. Now, customer managed key, they'll provide you full control over your encryption process, including key generation, rotation, and access management. So let me quickly show you what exactly is a customer managed key. And that's where I have, what I'll do is for this video, I'll do a comparison of, I'll show you in all three clouds, that is AWS, in Azure, as well as in Google, I'll show you. So quickly going to AWS, if I have to go over here, if I type KMS, which is Key Management Service, you could go here. You may want to choose the region to ensure this is where you would see the region. You may want to choose the region to ensure you are in the right region. This is where you would go create a key. This is where you could see, pretty much you would be using symmetric keys, unless you want to, you want to do some SFTP, that's where you could use. So most part you would be doing this. And encrypt and decrypt, you'll leave the default one over here. And advanced option, this is where you would just leave it as the default 199%. This is where you would be using. And this is where I was saying that where you could create the key, where AWS will create the key material in their cloud HSM. And this is a pretty expensive option if you want to see. Now, this is a new feature that's recently introduced in AWS where you could have a multi-region key. That is, you could choose this option, and it's going to have the ERN starting with MRK, and that's a multi-region key. But it doesn't mean that the key is automatically created in the other region, as you'll have to replicate the key in the other region to be able to use it, because keys are specific to a particular region in AWS. But this is a simplest view. Like if I hit next out here, I could give the name of the key. I'll just choose YouTube key here, give the description. Tagging is very important. Definitely something you do want to tag every resource you do. And that's where we for our customers, we leverage Terraform or CloudFormation to automate this entire setup. This is where you want to put your policies, who you want to have the policies for. And with Google, it's similar as well. Now, this is the Google console. I believe you would have all seen Google console out here. And if I go in as part of I could always search it out here as well. I could search out KMS, and this is where you would be getting the key management. And if I go in here, I already enabled the API. Now, this is where you would have to create a keyring. And this is a little different, where you will have to first create the keyring, where you would be having the different rotation, management, and topographic keys. So here I could just do a keyring name. And here itself, you see, right? This is a region as well as a multi-region option, you see. So I'll just give a key ring, and I'll choose global. This is something that it's recommended to have global, especially if you want to have in a multi-region scenario. So you could do that. Now this does take some time, and this is where you would see the key is created. This is the version of the key, and here you could see the different options out here that are there. Now in here, I could see the different permissions that are there, and it's recommended to narrow it down as part of the setup. Now in Azure, it's the similar one, where what we have is in Azure, they're called as vaults. Now, this is where, if you see, I created a demo vault out here. That is just to show you the GUI, how it looks is, this is the resource subscription. I will choose a resource group, and I will give a name. The name has to be ensuring that even though it's deleted, you can't use the earlier name if it's pending deletion. So you will have to use, say, something like this. I'll keep the same, and if I give one, okay, one is good, not the earlier one. And the configuration, role-based access control, that's definitely recommended. And you could all have policy at the vault access level as well. A few of the resources who can access, you could choose out here. And then next, the selected network, you choose what are the selected networks that you want to use. Private endpoints is definitely something from the more security posture you would want to do. And tagging is again similar. All cloud providers have tagging, something that is definitely recommended you wanna get into. And you hit next, you review and create. So I'll just show you out here. This is the key vault that is created already. And in here, you could see that you have the options of keys as well as secrets. In AWS, secrets are separate. So in Google, the secrets are separate. But in here as well, it's separate. But they are part of the vault setup in Azure. That's where you could go about here. You could, similar to those cloud providers, you could generate or import Out here, you could generate one, or you could import one, you could choose these different options, and accordingly, the key will be created to which you could have the right policy and the right identities can access it. So I hope though short, is still provides a little bit of clarity on how you could go about creating a key. Now I'll go over the comparison of the cloud provider key versus the customer managed key. The first thing is ownership, where a cloud provider owns and manages the encryption keys. But with the customer managed key, you have control of the keys. You could rotate it, you could destroy it, and you could set the encryption, decryption setup so that you could have full control. Now, likewise, control with the cloud provider key, there's limited control as the cloud provider has manages the key. With CMK, you manage the key. What are the use cases? As I said, right, this is suitable for somebody who's starting up, but not majorly. And but also, what is there is like when we use, like say specifically in AWS, when you want to have the CloudFront logs or even load balancer logs stored in S3. For S3, we cannot use a customer managed key as of now, as of this recording, which is February 4th, 2024. It's not supported. Maybe in future it changes that the S3 bucket for the load balancer and CloudFront logs, it starts supporting customer managed key, but till now. So those are a few limitations we want to keep in mind for those settings. But 99% of the other scenarios, you could always use a customer managed key. And in fact, it's something that we'll go with next setting. And this is CMK. If you have sensitive or highly regulated workloads, for sure that I don't think you'll have any other option other than to use your CMKs out of that. But definitely for our customers, we follow a best general practice to try to use CMK, and then when not to use CMK, that's something we discuss with them and see on what is the rationale of not using a CMK. For a cloud provider key management, the cloud provider is going to take care of the whole end-to-end lifecycle management, but with the CMK, we are responsible of the rotation, backup, and compliance. But it's not that tedious. It's not something, it may seem a little overwhelming, but it's pretty straightforward to do that setup. Compliance, from a compliance perspective, a CMK, you will have limitations from a cloud provider, but with the CMK, you will ensure that you're compliant, you follow the right policies, you adhere to the requirements, you will have a lot more control, and that's where for a compliance, you're better off doing that. Integration, both CMK and CPK, they seamless integration with cloud providers, so that's not going to be an issue. Complexity, like CPK is kind of out of the box. You don't need to do, all you need to do is choose the cloud provider key, and you should be good to go. With the CMK, you could say that it's a little complex because you do need to do a little more steps. But once you have it set up, that's where it's kind of going to be pretty straightforward to do the setup. And in Arina Technologies, we have automated scripts. We have these templates already ready. So you could always use our templates and have this up and running. Cost, this is, again, the cost isn't, there's no significant cost of using a custom managed key. The reason I mentioned the cost is here is that of the other manual effort that you'll have to do, that you'll have to write an extra code to the rotation and operational aspect of it, and that's the cost of it. Security, this cloud provider key provides security for data at rest, but with not much options. While a customer managed key, you have full control and it's a lot more secure. For a key rotation, the CPK is going to take care of the key rotation, while with the CMK, you are responsible and we are in control. For the access control, again, this is totally dependent on the cloud provider to take care of the access control, but with the customer managed key, that we have to take care of access control. For a DR multi-region, we saw that how Google, AWS, we do get the option of multi-region, and we are able to, even in Azure, we are able to input the key material, and in case for the backup perspective, so there's something every cloud provider provides, but in CPK, it's out of the box. In CMK, you'll have to do it yourself. So I hope this provides a good overview about the side-by-side comparison. And to conclude, so unless not supported, what we always recommend to a customer, a few of the examples I gave, load balancer, CloudFront, especially when you're using S3, they as of now, they don't support using a CMK. You will not be able to store the logs. You'll get an error. Or even if not an error, you won't even see it enabled. But if not for those scenarios, always try to have a custom managed key. You'll be better off. For reducing the blast radius to improve the security posture, you should have, again, create separate custom managed keys. The keys could be created like what we have discussed with the customers. We ideally want to keep the blast radius small. That is, there's separate keys per application. But a lot of times you have seen, say, for non-prod environment, where there's not any critical data, not customer data, we are fine with just having one key per environment. But it's easy, operationally, it's easy to manage. But again, we want to ensure that we have the right policies in place. And everything that we do as infrastructure as a code in our organization, and that is where we have this all scripted. So, but again, it comes down to the customer learning curve and how mature the customer is in the cloud journey, for which we adapt. And as I said, not all resources support CMK. So that is something just keep in mind, but majority of the ones will do. For anything you're doing data encryption at rest, like say a database, for a blob storage or S3 or cloud storage in Google, or like VM, EBS, like hard disk, that is there. So you should have your own key to as part of that. So I hope this video provides a good overview, and now you should be KMS keys, and you should be able to make the right decision. The details of this whole content are there in a blog that you could kind of refer, and feel free to use the material. And please reach out to us for any help on cloud consulting or web hosting design or any SEO best practices. Thank you, and see you in the next video.